There we go. All right. If you just watched the partial quotient division video, you saw that we did two whole numbers. We did 92, I think, divided by 3. And it was pretty easy example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the partial quotient method. I feel comfortable with it. And I'm going to throw in decimals because right now we're in decimal division and, hey, it's tough. It is just tough. And with all these snow days we've been having, it's really tough. It's tough on me. It's tough on you guys. And you guys being parents and students. So what do? How do we help? Well, I stay here till 1 o'clock in the morning and I make these videos and post them on YouTube. That's the only solution I see. So how do we go about this? Well, I'm just going to pick a random example. And I haven't thought this out. I'm just going to go with it. Let's do... Let's do 42 and 6/10 divided by, that's a weird looking 4. Try to make that a little bit better. 42 and 6/10. The decimal is very light. How about that? That 4 looks terrible. I gotta fix it. I can't have that. My handwriting's not the best, but that was pretty bad. All right, so 42 and 6/10 divided by, why not 6? We'll do 6 over here. All right, and as with partial quotients, we're gonna do our little waterfall thing here, okay? And we're gonna we're just gonna do what we know. But right now, I'm gonna erase this decimal, and I'm gonna put it in green, my favorite color actually. And so I know that it's still there, but I'm just not gonna think about it. I'm actually gonna think of this as 6 into 426. 426 divided by 6. Okay? And we're just going to go with it. 6 times what is going to give me something close to 426? Well, hey, wait a minute. Mr. B, I have not memorized any multiplication fact 6 times something that is 426. You have lost your mind. Well, let's think about something. 6 times 5 is 30. Okay? So that would mean 6 times 50 would be 300. We're getting closer, right? You just want to do, we want to do that? We'll do that. We'll do 6 times 50 is 300. Why not? And then we'll subtract it out. 6 take away 0 is 6. 2 take away 0 is 2. And 4 take away 3 is 1. All right. Now 126 here. Same thing, Mr. V. Don't know where you're going with this, but I have not memorized anything. 6 times something is 126. Well, let's try it. Let's go for it. Wait a minute. 12. I know that 6 times 2 is equal to 12. Well, 6 times 20, add a 0, would have to be 120. That's good. That's good. So let's do it. 6 times 20 is equal to 120. 6, take away 0, is 6, and 12, 2 minus 2 is 0, and 1 minus 1 is 0. This was completely luck, because I really picked this out of my head, and I had no idea it was going to be this nice. So, super awesome. 6 goes into 6 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract 0. Now, as with, this is a 50, by the way. That's not a 6. Make sure my handwriting looks nice. As nice as I can get it. Now, remember, with partial quotients, this over here is additive. We have to add this up to find our quotient. Okay? So, 50 plus 20 plus 1. 50 plus 20 is 70, plus 1 is 71. We don't want to do that in our head, Mr. V. We want to rewrite it. Well, you know what? You can do that. So we'll do 50 plus 20 plus 1. So 1, 5 plus 2 is 7, 71. How do I put my quotient up here, Mr. V? Because I'm still seeing 42 and 6/10. I told you, think of it as 426. So the 1 has to go in the 1's place, and the 7 has to go in the 7's place. The 7 has to go in the 1's place, right? Wait a minute. The 1 has to go in the 1's place, and the 7 has to go in the 10's place, because we're thinking of it as 426. It would have helped me if I wasn't looking at the decimal. But with the decimal, I said 1's, because that is the 1's place. But as we're looking at 426, 71 is correct, right? Now, Mr. V, 42 and 6/10 divided by 6 is not 71. For example, if I had $42.60, I could not buy 71 items that cost $6. That's what that's saying. If this were a word problem, it would be, if I had $42.60, how many $6 hats could I buy if I really were into hats? And it would not be 71, because 71 times 6 is a big number. Actually, 71 times 6 is 426. But this decimal right here is now going to come back into play. It's going to become black again. All right? And we're going to take it, and we're going to move it straight up. Now, how does that work, Mr. V? Well, let's think about it. 7 times 6 is what? 42. And 6 times 1/10 is 6/10. So 42 and 6/10 divided by 6 is 7 and 1/10. And that, my friends, is partial quotients of division. And I told the students today in class, they were like, Mr. V, do you think partial quotients will work for division of decimals? And I told them, not right now, because I haven't thought that deep into it. But hey, it works. I've worked it out with the help of some books and different resources, and there it is. So I hope that this was a help to you. As always, I lost my marker cap. There it is. I don't want to write on myself. I do that sometimes. So watch this as many times as you need to. I'm going to post the multiplication of decimals, the addition of decimals, and the subtraction of decimals, so that we can have a lot of examples to help us. This was kind of an 8-minute video. I wanted it to be a little shorter, but I talk a lot. I'm still talking right now. You could have already pressed stop by now, but you may not have. Excuse me. Yeah, I think that's a pretty easy method. And it does work. And we can also check our answer to make sure it makes sense, like I did there. So yes, partial quotients, additive, quotient up here, decimal goes straight up. In the beginning, don't think about the decimal, just think about a whole number. Alright? Alrighty.